In the Kelith Dominion, no one looked directly at the Empress. Not for long. Not without permission. And certainly not with anything resembling familiarity. Empress Veilira was not merely a ruler. She was a presence. Her throne chamber stretched across a vast expanse of living architecture, walls pulsing faintly with bioluminescent energy. The air itself seemed to hum with restrained power, bending subtly around her as she sat upon a throne that appeared grown rather than built. Her people feared her, respected her, obeyed her, but they did not know her, because no one was allowed to. "Proceed," Veilira said, her voice calm, yet carrying effortlessly across the chamber. A line of officials stood before her, heads bowed, eyes carefully lowered. Reports were delivered. Decisions were made. Lives were altered with a word. It was efficient. It was flawless. It was empty. A life without reflection. Veilira had ruled for over 2 centuries. Her species aged slowly, their lifespans stretching across what humans would consider multiple lifetimes. She had been raised for this role from the moment she was born, trained, conditioned, perfected. Emotion was not forbidden, but it was unnecessary. Weakness, however, was not tolerated. "You hesitate," her advisor, therein, said quietly after the court had been dismissed. Veilira did not turn. "I do not hesitate," she replied. "You pause." A distinction without meaning. Theron stepped closer, careful to maintain the proper distance. "You have been pausing more frequently," he said. Veilira's fingers tightened slightly against the armrest of her throne. "Observation is not insubordination," she said. "No," Theron agreed, "but it can reveal truth." Silence stretched between them. Then, "What truth do you believe you have uncovered?" Veilira asked. Theron hesitated, then chose his words carefully. "That you are dissatisfied." The first contact. The human arrived by accident. Or, at least, that was the official report. A small exploration vessel had been caught in a gravitational anomaly near the edge of Dominion space. By the time it stabilized, it had drifted dangerously close to Kelith-controlled territory. Standard protocol would have been immediate destruction. Instead, Veilira ordered it brought in. "Why?" Theron asked. Veilira did not answer immediately. "Curiosity," she said at last. It was not a word often associated with the Empress. The man who didn't know the rules. His name was Adrian Cole, and he had no idea where he was. The Kelith ship that retrieved him dwarfed his own vessel completely, its surface shifting with organic patterns that made it difficult to focus on any one detail. "Okay," Adrian muttered to himself as he was escorted through the corridors. "Definitely not standard human territory." The guards didn't respond. They didn't speak at all. They simply guided him forward, their movements precise, synchronized, and utterly silent. "This is either first contact," Adrian continued, "or I've made a very serious navigational error." He paused. "Or both." The throne room. Adrian was not prepared for the throne room. No one could have been. The sheer scale of it, the way the architecture seemed alive, breathing faintly, responding to something unseen, was enough to overwhelm even the most composed mind. And at the center, she sat. Adrian stopped walking, not because he was ordered to, but because something about her presence demanded it. She was striking, not in a way he could easily define. Her form was humanoid, but refined beyond anything natural. Her skin shimmered faintly with an iridescent quality, shifting subtly with the light. Her eyes, deep, luminous, held a depth that felt almost infinite. She didn't look at him immediately. When she did, the entire room seemed to hold its breath. The first words, "You have entered Kelith Dominion space without authorization," Veilira said. Her voice was calm, measured, absolute. Adrian blinked. Yeah, he said. About that. The guards tensed. Darren stiffened. But Veolyra did not react. You acknowledge the violation, she said. Sure, Adrian replied. I mean, not intentionally. My ship hit something weird, gravity spike or something, and next thing I know, I'm here. Silence. He scratched the back of his neck. Look, if I broke a rule, I'm sorry. Just point me in the right direction, and I'll be on my way. Another silence. Longer this time. Then, do you understand where you are? Veolyra asked. Not exactly, Adrian admitted. But I'm guessing not somewhere I'm supposed to be. That is correct. He nodded. Got it. The moment that should not have happened. There was a pause. A strange one. Veolyra studied him. Not as a ruler examines a subject, but as something unfamiliar examines something unexpected. Do you fear me? She asked. Adrian blinked. Should I? The guards shifted again. Darren's expression tightened. Veolyra did not move. Adrian looked at her more closely. Really looked. And then, without thinking, he said, You think I'm beautiful? The words left his mouth before his brain could catch up. He froze. Wait, he said quickly. That came out wrong. But it was too late. Because the Empress trembled. Middle. The truth, no one spoke. The reaction was immediate. Not loud. Not dramatic. But undeniable. Veolyra's fingers tightened against her throne. Her posture shifted, just slightly, but enough that those who knew her would have noticed. No one spoke. No one moved. Adrian stared. I'm sorry, he said slowly. Did I say something wrong? Veolyra's voice, when it came, was quieter than before. You think I am beautiful? She asked. The question hung in the air. Fragile. Impossible. Adrian blinked again. Well, yeah, he said. I mean, objectively speaking, yeah. You are. The silence deepened. Darren looked like he had stopped breathing entirely. A word never spoken. No one, Veolyra said slowly, has ever used that word in reference to me. Adrian frowned. That's weird. A ripple of tension moved through the chamber. We do not define worth by appearance, Darren said sharply. Adrian glanced at him. Okay, he said. That's fine. But that doesn't mean you can't notice it. Veolyra raised a hand. Darren fell silent. Her gaze remained fixed on Adrian. Explain, she said. A human perspective. Adrian shrugged slightly. It's not complicated, he said. You look impressive. Not just powerful. There's something else. What? She asked. He hesitated, then said, Presence. The words seemed to resonate, not just in the room, but in her. The beginning of change. From that moment, something shifted. Veolyra did not dismiss him, did not punish him. Instead, she kept him. Observe him, she instructed. Learn from him. Darren did not argue, but he did not approve. An unlikely connection. Days turned into weeks. Adrian remained within the palace, granted limited freedom under constant observation. And Veolyra spoke with him. Frequently. Your species values aesthetics? She asked during one conversation. Not exactly, Adrian replied. We just notice things. People. Details. And you noticed me. Hard not to, he said. A pause. Then, you continue to use that word, she said. Beautiful? Yes. Adrian smiled slightly. Because it still applies. The Empress learns to see herself. Veolyra began to change. Subtly. At first, she paused more often, asked more questions, considered perspectives she had never entertained before. Why does it matter? She asked one day. Why does what matter? Adrian replied, that you find me beautiful. He thought for a moment. Because it means you're more than just what you do, he said. She was silent. That's not how your people see you, is it? He added. No, she said. How do they see you? As necessary. Conflict within the empire. The changes did not go unnoticed. Whispers spread. The Empress was different, less distant, less absolute. Theron confronted her. You are altering established patterns, he said. I am evolving them, she replied. Because of him? Veolyra did not answer, which was answer enough. The breaking point. It came during a council assembly, a dispute, a decision. Normally, Veolyra would have resolved it instantly, efficiently, without hesitation. But this time, she paused. Consider alternative solutions, she said. The council erupted. This is inefficient. This is unnecessary. This is human influence. The word was spoken like an accusation. The choice. Later, alone with Adrian, Veolyra spoke quietly. They believe you are weakening me. Adrian leaned against the wall. Are they right? She looked at him. I do not know. He nodded. Then maybe you're not weaker, he said. Maybe you're just different. And the Empress who was finally seen. The final decision came days later. Veolyra stood before her council. Silent. Still. And then she spoke. For generations, we have defined strength as absence, she said. Absence of doubt. Absence of emotion. Absence of vulnerability. The chamber remained quiet. But I have learned, she continued, that absence is not strength. A pause. It is limitation. Shock rippled through the room. We will change, she said. A new kind of rule. The transformation of the Kelith Dominion did not happen overnight. But it began, and at its center was a simple truth. One human had spoken, and the Empress had listened. Epilogue. The word that changed everything. Adrian stood at the edge of the observation deck, looking out at the stars. You're staying, Veolyra said, approaching him. He glanced at her. For a while, he said. She nodded. Silence settled between them. Then, you still believe it? She asked. Adrian smiled. Yeah, he said. I do. She held his gaze. And for the first time in her long existence, the Empress who had ruled galaxies did not feel distant, did not feel untouchable, did not feel alone, because someone had seen her, not as a ruler, not as a symbol, but as something far rarer, someone worth calling, beautiful,